A shallow bite mark on skin heals. The small wound closes without a trace. 2 quiet months pass in apparent health. Everyday life continues without any major concern. Then the forgotten scar starts itching strangely. A sudden fever brings an uneasy restlessness. Someone offers a simple glass of water. Throat muscles contract in violent, uncontrollable spasms. The desperately thirsty body recoils from liquid. Survival instincts turn against basic biological needs. By this moment, medical intervention comes late. Major historical pathogens killed immense human populations. Smallpox caused devastating global mortality across centuries. Cholera drained essential bodily fluids within hours. Bubonic plague erased entire vibrant medieval cities. Yet rabies presents a distinctly terrifying threat. It operates through a unique biological mechanism. It turns time into quiet psychological horror. Measuring human terror requires examining historical evidence. No single scientific unit measures collective fear. Epidemics impact societies through vastly different means. Smallpox remains history's most destructive viral killer. High fever and deep facial lesions occurred. Unvaccinated populations suffered 30% mortality rates. Rare hemorrhagic forms proved almost universally fatal. Survivors faced extensive facial scarring and blindness. Historical estimates indicate 300 million deaths. Global vaccination campaigns eradicated natural transmission entirely. Plague generated an entirely different psychological panic. Swollen lymph nodes marked bubonic plague infections. Pneumonic plague attacked lungs through airborne droplets. Untreated pneumonic cases approached total fatal outcomes. Communities watched disease sweep through entire streets. Cholera made human bodies appear empty rapidly. Severe watery diarrhea caused sudden circulatory shock. Kidney failure and collapse followed within hours. Yet cholera treatment remains remarkably simple today. Replacing lost water and salts restores health. Organized rehydration easily defeats former deadly curses. Rabies operates under fundamentally different biological rules. Human-to-human transmission remains exceptionally rare. It does not sweep through entire towns. Global annual deaths reach tens of thousands. Most human exposures originate from infected dogs. Rabies terrifies on an individual personal scale. An animal bite occurs, then nothing happens. The virus remains hidden for many weeks. Victims stop thinking about the past incident. Standard incubation typically spans 2 or 3 months. Timelines range from 1 week to a year. Exact timing depends on wound location and depth. This delay creates the first distinct horror. A person feels healthy while disease advances. Saliva carries viral particles into soft tissue. The virus avoids immediate bloodstream immune exposure. Our cells handled chemistry long before homework. Pathogens do not announce invasions in blood. Instead, the virus targets peripheral nerve endings. It binds specifically to neuromuscular junction sites. Retrograde axonal transport moves particles inward slowly. Viral proteins hijack internal cellular transport motors. The virus climbs toward the spinal cord. Microscopic travel produces ultimate macroscopic consequences later. Imagine stepping outside on a cold morning. You hold a warm cup of coffee. A minor animal nip seems completely trivial. Skin closes and life returns to normal. Yet microscopic particles advance steadily along nerves. The immune system remains oblivious to progression. Evolution never waited for committee approvals anywhere. Particles multiply rapidly inside central brain tissue. Viral offspring travel outward along peripheral pathways. High concentrations reach active salivary gland tissues. This positioning prepares the virus for transmission. Early symptoms mimic common everyday viral infections. Patients develop fever, headache, and general malaise. The disease hides behind routine health complaints. Then the original wound area begins tingling. Paresthesia signals direct localized nerve involvement nearby. Brain tissue develops progressive inflammatory damage quickly. Medical literature classifies 2 distinct clinical forms. Furious rabies represents 80% of cases. Patients exhibit agitation, hyperactivity, and extreme confusion. Hallucinations and sudden seizures disrupt normal consciousness. Saliva accumulates as swallowing becomes increasingly difficult. Periods of terror alternate with brief lucidity. Bitten individuals briefly grasp their catastrophic situation. Paralytic rabies accounts for 1/5 of cases. Muscle weakness begins near the initial wound. Paralysis ascends gradually through the patient's limbs. Coma develops before respiratory or cardiac failure. Doctors often misdiagnose quiet paralytic rabies presentations. Both clinical pathways converge on identical outcomes. Hydrophobia is frequently described as water fear. That definition makes it sound like thought. In reality, involuntary brainstem reflexes trigger spasms. Swallowing attempts cause excruciating throat muscle contractions. Diaphragm and accessory breathing muscles lock painfully. Merely offering liquid provokes intense startle reactions. The central nervous system anticipates swallowing pain. A person experiences overwhelming dehydration and thirst, yet their body forcefully rejects incoming moisture. Aerophobia works through similar neurological reflex arcs. A gentle breeze blowing on skin triggers spasms. Water and air represent ordinary life sensations. A damaged nervous system misinterprets basic inputs. Historically, observers viewed victims as possessed individuals. Rabies attacks the brain responsible for identity. Infected animals display similarly altered behavior patterns. Some animals become strangely fearless and aggressive. Others grow unusually quiet and progressively paralyzed. Behavioral changes ensure efficient viral bite transmission. Popular media depicts rabies as zombie viruses. That cinematic trope remains biologically inaccurate today. Infected humans do not form aggressive hordes. Ancient societies recognized rabies patterns millennia ago. Mesopotamian legal codes recorded mad dog bites. 4,000 years ago, laws assigned financial liability. Greek and Roman scholars documented rabid animals. They described bite transmission and hydrophobic symptoms. The empirical causal chain was strikingly evident. An animal changes behavior and bites humans. Bitten individuals develop fatal neurological disease later. Early treatments highlighted deep public medical panic. Wounds were burned with hot cautery irons. Herbal poultices and animal extracts were applied. Unsuccessful treatments left no surviving vocal witnesses. Survived bites were credited to useless remedies. Medicine before statistics struggled with non-fatal bites. Thorough, immediate wound washing actually reduced risk. Removing viral particles physically helped prevent infection. By the 19th century, fear remained intense. A suspected rabid dog triggered urban terror. Louis Pasteur changed medical history fundamentally. Pasteur understood the prolonged internal incubation period. The virus required weeks reaching central brains. That delay offered an unprecedented treatment opportunity. Immune responses could be trained after exposure. 9-year-old Joseph Meister arrived bitten. A rabid dog bit him 14 times. Pasteur administered experimental nerve tissue vaccine series. Young Meister survived the otherwise fatal bite. The experiment involved substantial scientific ethical concerns. Pasteur was not a licensed medical doctor. Failure would have destroyed vaccination credibility worldwide. Meister's survival turned rabies into a winnable race. Patients traveled across continents seeking Paris inoculations. Public support helped establish the Institut Pasteur. Post-exposure vaccination became medical history landmark. Delayed incubation transformed horror into medical rescue. Modern post-exposure prophylaxis remains extraordinarily effective. Care begins with thorough soap water flushing. World Health Guidelines advise 15 minutes washing. Modern tissue culture vaccines trigger protective immunity. Rabies immune globulin offers immediate neutralizing antibodies. Treatment before symptom onset approaches complete effectiveness. The bite represents the true medical emergency. Waiting for symptoms guarantees fatal neurological outcome. This requirement reverses conventional patient medical behavior. Usually individuals consult doctors after feeling unwell. With rabies, feeling healthy is essential for survival. Seeking care during health preserves life possibilities. Hesitation punishes patients through invisible medical deadlines. A minor scratch seems easy to ignore. Children fail to report small animal bites. Rural clinics often lack stored vaccine supplies. Approximately 59,000 people die annually. Deaths concentrate heavily across Asia and Africa. Children carry a disproportionate share of burden. Biological tools exist, yet poverty delivers death. No comfortable diagnostic test detects incubation stages. Physicians evaluate risk using circumstantial animal histories. Waiting for proof remains the worst choice. Humans represent an evolutionary dead-end host. Casual contact rarely spreads viral saliva between people. Mammal reservoirs maintain ongoing viral transmission cycles. Domestic dogs cause 99% cases. Bats, raccoons, and skunks harbor regional variants. Effective public health intervenes before human bites. Mass dog vaccination protects local human communities. Vaccinated dogs block viral access to households. Animal immunization represents cost-effective health strategy. Prevention achieves victory through quiet everyday safety. Is rabies truly history's most terrifying disease? Smallpox killed far more total human beings. Plague erased cities with terrifying sudden speed. Cholera drained living bodies within single days. Influenza epidemics infected global populations rapidly everywhere. Rabies wins under one very specific definition. It weaponizes human neural communication against itself. Peripheral nerves, carrying touch and movement, become battlefields. The virus invades machinery, enabling conscious life. Yet human intelligence altered this ancient dynamic. Centuries of careful observation revealed transmission mechanisms. Laboratory science harnessed incubation delays against viruses. Today, a dangerous bite becomes urgent care. Time remains divided into two distinct worlds. Before clinical symptoms, medicine offers complete salvation. After clinical symptoms, rescue becomes almost impossible. True biological horror begins when people ignore bites.